We all know that DJ software can be expensive, confusing, and honestly a little bit insulting. Like, I paid for this? I've spent hundreds of dollars on software that half the time I feel like it wants me to fail, and I don't need any help with that. So I asked every DJ on the internet which software is actually the best. And the internet answered with comment sections full of people just screaming their favorite in all caps. But why was it their favorite? So to get to the bottom of it, I did the only logical thing and I bought all 5 of the most mentioned DJ softwares to test all at once, live on camera. I'm Lavonda, and in this video, I'm putting all of these through 8 tests based on what DJs say actually matters, including UI, compatibility, stems, stability, speed, library management, workflow enhancements, and of course the price. Together, we will find the one that is worth our time and money, and we will crown the king or queen of the software SmackDown. First up was DJ Pro. In full disclosure, this one is a bit of a cheat because it's a software I actually use. You can get it on Mac, Windows, iOS, even Vision Pro. It has a ton of features and got a sequencer and looper that nobody cares about. I mean, I do, I think it's cool. So I ran it through my software SmackDown. 8 categories, 5 points each, and first up was the UI. Now this is always going to be subjective, but I judge these on my ability to customize it because of course size matters, and how easy it was to navigate and use all the features. The interface was clean, modern, and intuitive, and I appreciate the uncluttered layout and the large buttons, so I gave the UI a 4 out of 5. Next, controller support was where DJ Pro really flexed. The list of natively supported controllers was massive. Newmark, Hercules, Alpha Theta, Reloop, even old Vestax gear. The catch was a few controllers don't get every single feature mapped, so I gave it a 4, not a 5. And now let's talk stems. Their neural mix splits a track into vocals, instruments, and percussion, and it actually sounds really good. I do know that the Rekordbox stems sound like ass, and these do sound pretty good. So stems got a 4 out of 5, but also at this point it's hard to have a point of reference, but we will do a comparison of stems later. Now, stability was mostly solid for me, but to be honest, in doing my research, the forums mentioned freezes after a couple hours of heavy stem use, and because I had to map my controller with stems myself, because there's no native mapping for it, the mappings have at times straight up vanished, and that is a bummer. So I landed on a 4 out of 5. And now for load speed. This one earned it. I quit the program and reopened it, and it was fully loaded in about 5 seconds. And if you've ever waited on Rekordbox to boot up, you know why that matters. And because processing is done on device, the tracks load and analyze super quickly. I'm gonna say load speed is 5 out of 5. There, I've done it. Now for library management, playlists, crates, tagging, and like I said earlier, I could blend streaming tracks and my own music into one playlist, so that earned a 4 out of 5. And for workflow enhancements, Fluid Beat Grid was a standout. There's auto mix too if you want to let AI take the wheel, but of course we would never do that. Another 4 out of 5. And the price. It's a subscription now, $49.99 a year. No more buy it once unless you got grandfathered in, but there is a free tier just called DJ that lets you try it on your iPad or your iPhone before you commit. So that was DJ Pro. Solid across the board. DJ Pro is going to win on stems and innovation at this point, and in my opinion, it is a highly underrated software. Next up was Traktor Pro 4, and on paper, she's stacked. So I ran it through my software SmackDown, and up first was the user interface. And that's where Traktor and I got off on the wrong foot. God, I fucking hate this already. I really wanted to like it. At first glance, it felt simple and clean. I wasn't overwhelmed, but the second I tried something basic like adding a playlist or finding basic functions, I was lost. How do I create a playlist? See, part of UI should be how easy is it to figure out. Could anyone figure it out, or? I hunted for simple things for what felt like forever. Don't worry, we're gonna figure it out. A wise woman once said, we can always figure it out. Preparation? What the fuck is this? Yeah, this went on for a while. Users generally praise Traktor Pro's interface for its high customizability, layout views, and advanced music library management, but I found its traditional modular window setup less intuitive for beginners compared to modern competitors. So the UI got a 2 out of 5. I don't love it. I don't love it. You could maybe just tell me in the comments what you like about it. Next, controller support was a mixed bag. It's really built for native instruments and Traktor gear or CDJs. Anything else means mapping it yourself, and frankly, I am just too lazy to do that. Then stems, and here's the catch. Traktor stems aren't real time. You have to pre-analyze every track, 30 to 40 seconds each, one at a time, and it won't work with streaming services, while VirtualDJ and DJ Pro do. And then I played a game of Where's Waldo, trying to figure out how to access the stems. Oh, I hate this. Where do I get to the stems? How do I do that? Where do I find the stems? Now, people rate the quality on par with Serato and VirtualDJ, but since you don't get real-time stems, and because I was pissed off I couldn't easily access them, as of now, I'm giving that shit a 1. Okay, editing Lavonda here. I realized that score wasn't fair, and after testing them when I played on the decks later, the sound quality was really good, especially on the acapellas, so I'm updating the score to a 3. Next, stability seemed solid. Reviews were mixed but trending up. A few shutdowns here and there, and I guess there was a long-standing browser bug that finally got fixed, so I gave it a 4. I had no issues when I used it. Next, for load speed. It was fast enough upon opening, but tracks took a bit longer to load than on DJ Pro. I also took a star off for having to wait to analyze stems. Traktor gets a 3 out of 5 for load speed. Now, library management, I got smart lists, auto build playlists, and favorites bar for navigating quick access to your folders. All handy stuff, but it's nothing I hadn't seen before, and navigating it as a first timer was rough. So 3 out of 5. But workflow enhancements, well, this is where Traktor showed off. We have fluid beat grids that I guess people had begged for years, a built-in percussion sequencer with 808 and 909 kits, so you could basically live produce while you DJ, I guess, remix decks, and an ozone maximizer. I don't know, it doesn't really get my juices flowing, but maybe somebody's it will. But for all the workflow enhancements, it gets a 5 out of 5. And price. This is Traktor's ace. $149, buy it once, own it forever, there's no subscription, and I do like that. So 3 months of DJ Pro or a lifetime of Traktor Pro. But just remember, a lifetime is a long time. I didn't give it a full 5, only because you really have to live in the native instruments ecosystem, and also because I have commitment issues. So after round 1, DJ Pro was still the queen, and Traktor Pro landed in 2nd place. Then came Serato DJ Pro, the most popular DJ software globally. We might have to fact check that. Now, I'd never used Serato, so I bit the bullet and I bought a month because it's subscription only, and well, you already know how I feel about subscriptions. The things that I do for you guys. So yeah, thank you in advance for liking and subscribing. So I ran it through my Software SmackDown, and right away I liked it. I didn't feel overwhelmed the way I did with Traktor. It was clean and modern and easy to understand, thank God. I could resize the font, making a crate was simple, and it wasn't cluttered with a bunch of stuff I'd never touch. I could watch tutorials, but never. Why would we do that? Serato's UI got a 4 out of 5. For controller support, you really can't argue with it. Serato supports over 100 pieces of hardware from every major brand. It's got my old pussy. So I gave it a 5 out of 5 for compatibility. Then I got momentarily distracted. Live stream your sets. Wait a minute. I love live streaming. Did you guys know that I like live streaming? Did you know I have an app if you want to be a DJ who live streams? I swear this wasn't planned, but I'll take it. I'm gonna put a link to that in the description. Now moving on to stems. Serato has had stems since version 3. The benchmarks put DJ Pro and VirtualDJ as the real-time leaders with Serato close behind. But in my tests, I didn't think the artifact bleed was any better or worse. I'd be very comfortable mixing with these stems, so I gave it a 4 out of 5. Now, stability is one of Serato's bragging rights. Since I only had to play around for about a set, I consulted the interwebs, and it's very highly regarded. It's not perfect, but close. I gave it a 4 out of 5. For load speed, once it got going, it loaded tracks onto the deck really fast, and while users sometimes report a sluggish start, I didn't have that experience. 4 out of 5. The library management is where Serato pulled ahead of the pack. Crates, smart crates, and mix streaming tracks with local tracks in the same crate. I don't know why they don't all do this. We have searchable crate names, customizable comments, fast search. I can't think of anything else that you might want, but you could tell me in the comments. Library management, 5 out of 5. Now, workflow enhancements is where I slipped a little. The core tool set is strong, and practice mode is great for beginners prepping a set on just a laptop. But some of the good stuff, like pitch and time, lives behind paid expansions, and that dinged it. Now that's lame. That sucks, Serato. I hate that for you. You were almost perfect. Workflow got a 3 out of 5. And price, $299, buy it once. That's double the price of Traktor, but you own it forever. I also found out it's free if you already own certain controllers, and that is where I had a moment. God damn it, I fucking bought it for nothing. Okay, well, I get it for free. Turns out Serato was free with the O-Pussy. Not the first or the last time the O-Pussy's gonna cost me. I gave price a 4, knocking 1 off only because the extra expansions cost more on top. Serato DJ just upset DJ Pro as the winner. So far, we're not done yet because we got Rekordbox and VirtualDJ next. We have a new queen. It is Serato. She is lovely. Next up was Rekordbox, and there's no buy once option, just a subscription, but it's free with a lot of Pioneer Alpha Theta gear. Now, Rekordbox and I have history. I actually moved away from it because it kept crashing on me. And I'm gonna try very, very hard to have an open mind because I haven't used it in a while. So I ran it through my Software SmackDown, starting with the user interface. It's a love-hate relationship we have. The UI, I can't really complain about. It's pretty much like every other one. Easy to understand, everything where you expect it. I don't mind. The UI is not the problem I have beef with. I gave it a 4. Controller support is solid, but narrower than Serato. Rekordbox really wants you on Alpha Theta gear. If you got something else, it gets harder, so 3 out of 5. Now, stems. I've actually used Rekordbox stems before, and I gotta say, I am not impressed. I didn't think they were great. I did not think that they were great. The independent tests of the good people of the internet have ranked Rekordbox stem quality way below DJ, VirtualDJ, and Serato. Why can't they make stems better at this point? I mean, they're releasing a shit ton of hardware that nobody asked for, but yet we can't get stems that sound decent. Stems are doo-doo, and I'm gonna give them a 1. Now for stability. Who is letting me talk about stability? And this one is big for me because it's the whole reason I broke up with them. Rekordbox would just stop playing in the middle of a set, and it happened to me over and over on my live streams. To be fair, plenty of club DJs swear it's rock solid, but I landed on a 2 out of 5. My stability has not been great. Yeah, no shit, Lavonda. Load speed is rough too. It takes forever. It takes forever to open, it takes forever to close, it takes forever to load a track. I'm giving it a 2, so 2 out of 5. Library management was fine. You've got all your streaming services and it's easy to build sets, but my one real gripe is that pulling a track from a streaming service into your set means digging through a separate sub-browser, and it just feels clunky. So it's fine. There's always a reach around or a workaround. I gave it a 3 out of 5. But workflow enhancements, well, I have to give credit where it's due. Rekordbox is loaded. It's got great BPM grid accuracy, auto mix, cloud play direct, and even a lighting mode to control your stage lights. So that earned a 5. And price. Well, this is where it got confusing. There's no buy once. There's 4 different subscription tiers running about $15 to $30 a month, though you do get a free hardware unlock with a lot of Alpha Theta gear. I'm so confused. Why are there 4 different subscription options? God, you know what? I fucking hate you, Rekordbox. So for being confusing and not giving the option to buy it once, Rekordbox gets a 2 out of 5. So even with a couple of bright spots, Rekordbox landed at the bottom of my board. Shocker. Serato was still the queen, which left just one more contender. Last up was a VirtualDJ, and fun fact, this was the very first DJ software I ever used, back when a friend was teaching me how to DJ. So this one felt full circle. VirtualDJ is the most downloaded DJ software on the planet. This is the choice of the working DJ. Oh, it's the blue collar DJ right here. It's $299 to buy once, or $19 a month. There's no free unlock, and it works with almost any controller. So I ran it through my Software SmackDown one last time, starting with the interface, and right away, I was into it. Okay, We're cooking with fire. Clean, customizable, everything the right size with skins you can swap. It reminded me a little of DJ Pro in the best way. I actually really like this user interface. I like that it's just, sorry, I'm distracted by Bush. Why is Bush over here? I really liked playing around on it and found it easy to navigate. Whoa, 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 whoa. This is what I wanted to see in the other ones, where you just, fuck yes. So the UI got a 4 out of 5. For controller support, it's rock solid. There are over 500 compatible devices, so this was an easy 5 out of 5. Then for the stems. Now reviewers note that the upgraded engine provides a significant jump in audio clarity, giving DJs crisp, highly usable acapellas and instrumentals on the fly. And I spent some time playing around with them on the laptop. This is fucking cool. I'm a fan. Oh my God, am I gonna start using VirtualDJ? People have called their stems the best in the business for years, maybe even better than DJ Pro, and I was really impressed. So I gave stems a 4. For stability, DJs report the software to be incredibly reliable. I gave it a 4 based on my experience with it, and quick note that much of the instability reported is likely due to pirated software and slow systems. Now load speed was fast. It opened instantly, it loaded tracks quickly, it analyzed in the background, it was right up there with DJ Pro. We might have just found ourselves a wiener. Boom, 5 out of 5. Library management is where I turned into a full-on fangirl. Highly customizable, it's got a slick side toolbar, and everything resizes exactly how you want it. This is my software, I could do whatever I wanted. Another 5 out of 5. And for workflow enhancements, this one is almost too much. AI-generated lyrics, an LLM that suggests tracks for any moment, karaoke, video mixing, built-in visuals, a live ticker, even song requests from your audience with tipping. What are we even talking about? Hold on a minute. It has a ton of workflow enhancements. I mean, there's just a ton of things. So yeah, the features are really impressive. And I think I'm glazing VirtualDJ, as the kids say. 5 out of 5. And when it comes to price, it's $299 to own it, or $19 a month, the same ballpark as the others, and that's fair. It's 4 out of 5. Can't even believe what has just happened. This is showing that VirtualDJ is the winner based on Software SmackDown. The best for the money is VirtualDJ with a 36 out of 40. That is solid. The thing I did want to say is that I did not include Denon, and other people are gonna say, why is Denon not in here? But it just wasn't mentioned enough times in my comments, and I picked the top 5. But as a person who uses Denon or Engine DJ, I don't love it. I don't love it, and it wouldn't have won. I hope this video helped you make some decisions, and if you want to know all about the DJ software that was there for me after my breakup with Rekordbox, go watch this next. Spoiler, it didn't take the crown today, but it still has my heart.